What up? This is Dan from Ice Nine Kills, and I just wanted to give a shout out to the loudest podcast in all of music, the MoshCast, where they review albums, EPs from any and all genres. They even interview new and upcoming bands. It's a freaking great time. Keep moshing, motherfuckers.
Alright. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the loudest podcast in all of music, the MoshCast, where not only is it just a tribute episode, it is also my birthday request, but I didn't want to make a birthday request about a happy album. I felt like it was a nice way to turn things around and dedicate it to someone that we lost just recently in the hip-hop world. So the album that we are reviewing today is The Last Rocket by the now late great Takeoff. One third of the popular trio known as Migos. Now before I dive into the album, I'm gonna explain some things about Takeoff that most of you don't know, and most of you that are fans of his music that you do know. That those of you that don't know, Takeoff was out of the three of the members of the Migos, he was the most quietest, the very private one of the group. Really, you didn't really hear much about him in the pop culture world, social media. You really didn't hear a lot about him. He pretty much was a guy that kept to himself, and he really was very humble, very chill. Now, for those of you that don't know, Quavo and Offset, they're all related by family. So Offset is their cousin. Quavo and Takeoff are uncle and nephew, so they're all kind of related like that. Uh, the reason I chose this album, number one, it came out on my birthday back in 2018, and plus, I think out of the three, well, the reason how this album came about for everyone, like all the Migos decided they're gonna release their own solo projects away from doing it as a whole group. So Quavo came out with his, Offset came out with his, and Takeoff came out with his own. They all came out with their own solo projects. Just so you know what they can do and base it on. So Offset based it around family and real life tragedies. Takeoff based it around different things, and Quavo as well. But as much as work put into this, Takeoffs and Offsets were like the favorites, I could say. But you know I think Takeoff's tragic death took hip hop by storm, and it really, gun violence, with rappers, it's just crazy, and they have such a long careers ahead of them, and people just don't do anything. They think gun violence is the answer. They think like over something that is tragically. He was like senselessly harmless too, which was the most effed up thing out of this whole like tragedy. He was just the most. It was like senseless. Like he didn't do nothing wrong. Like he wasn't the wrong person or anything. But shit happens. I mean, we can't bring back somebody. But it was just by storm. Everybody was just tragically hurt by this loss, and fellow hip hop people in the community, fellow rappers in general that have worked with him felt real, and plus his family. You got to look out for his family now the most, and you know, my heart goes out to Takeoff's loved ones, especially Quavo. His uncle, man. It's just crazy, but you know what? To honor Takeoff and not talk about sad stuff, um, let's just celebrate his life and his music as a whole with this album. So I have two people joining me for this. So first up, he is the resident sleepyhead of the podcast. He's pretty much the lazy bum wherever he goes.
The bum,
He,
yeah.
I invited this guy on just so I can get his opinions. We like to get
And
the
rap.
scoop, the inside scoop.
And give
Ladies
him
and
a space to
gentlemen,
rap, yeah.
it's AJ.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the loudest podcast of all fucking music, the Mosh fucking cast, where we are reviewing The Last Rocket by Takeoff. And yes, this is not gonna be the perfect time for me to be like entertaining as always. But um, I won't be. I just want to say something before we get to the album. Um, don't expect me to say any funny jokes as of this episode because this
Oh
is
yeah.
really serious. Seriously, it's not.
Right.
All right. You know me. I say some stupid shit on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Cinematic.
You would all twirl around your intro and everything.
Yeah. I will prevent to do that
At
because
Yeah.
least for this episode.
yeah. But
AJ's
um,
a fan of his work.
yeah. And I just feel like it'll be not a good thing to do.
If
If
it's a
I
tribute
I just
episode.
yeah, especially for a tribute episode. Anyways, let's get this rapper shot because after I hear he passed away,
Yeah.
like I didn't okay, I knew who Migos was,
Be-
but
Because they
I
showed up
didn't
at day one at one
know
point
too much
for
about the
WWE.
members. Um, I did know Offset because obviously he is married to Cardi B. Um,
That's
yeah,
right.
that's all I know. But the
Yeah.
Quavo and Takeoff I never knew about until his,
Yeah.
which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. They're all family.
I
So
honestly wish I
Family.
knew a lot
yeah.
more about Takeoff, but I bet
Yeah.
I'll more today though. And that's at least we can do to solve that. Anyways, but I'll be very interested what his music's about. And without
Yeah.
further ado, let's get to fucking Jason over here, who's a
Yeah.
shithead.
Yeah.
A
Next up,
fuckhead.
he you know him, you'll love him. You can't hate the guy.
I'm
He's
just
our
too
resident
nice.
Minecraft
Head-
player, moderator, editor, uploader, the man who is the master of everything, makes the podcast magic happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jason
I
Bailey.
guess I'm just built different.
And the man with
Jason's
the
different.
fucking perfect attendance.
Well, not
Oh yeah, we
anymore.
can't forget about his.
Well, not anymore, really, on 2 out of the 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
My streak broke on the MoshCast
Ah,
and on
Yep.
Crash and Burn, so it's only on cinematic analysis at this point.
Yeah.
Until my streak ends on there. Anyways, yeah. I'm a
Hey.
mod, I'm a horror player.
He's man of many things.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just built different, so yeah, welcome
Yeah.
to a tribute episode here on MoshCast, for
Yeah.
the late great Takeoff.
And yes, as you know who I am the assassin Josh Stinker here,
Josh,
making my
thanks.
long-awaited return to the MoshCast.
You're barely here, bro. Come on more.
I
Yeah.
know you
We
want
need
me
you.
here, but
We're in desperate need.
they need the Lord and Savior, known as the assassin. But I'm happy to be back and
Come on,
sharing
more.
a little bit,
Get on here more. Come on.
sharing a little bit of
Right, AJ? Get on more.
my taste
Yeah.
in music with you guys. And so before we head into the music, I just want to dive into what this album meant to Takeoff and how
Go ahead.
he started this off. So, following the 2017 release of Migos' album Culture, all three of them, they all grew in ways and all that other stuff. This is like a description from Apple Music, what they put in here. This is not my own word. I'm reading what this says here. So Quavo debuted his solo album Quavo Huncho, and then Takeoff released his shortly after Quavo's came out in release. He basically dialed in and just went all out, and he basically just went into the studio and just went really hard on his verses, hooks, and everything like that. It's more like an LP because there's not that really many songs on it, but it was released by Quality Control Records, which is the Migos record label, and and they were family to Quality Control, like especially all three of them, and Quality Control even broke out their condolences to Takeoff after the incident. But just some of these tracks that I listened to when it first came out, like, you know, all three of them could really go well on their own, like, and that's what it means. But just this year, which is pretty crazy, because I said to myself, Quavo, so Migos kind of I wouldn't say split up, but they kind of, had some beef going on in like the family. Um, Takeoff and Quavo weren't speaking to Offset. They were having like some beef going on. I really don't know what the whole thing was. And Peep and Quavo said in an interview they wanted to see Takeoff and Quavo what they could do as a duo. You know, they said, when the time's right, we could fix it and all. And it's just sad now because Offset can't fix the beef he had with Takeoff or whatever the situation was now. And I don't know about Quavo, but maybe in the future they'll fix their situation. But some people wanted to see Quavo and Takeoff as a duo. And honestly, they released an album called Only Built for Infinity Links just this year, before Takeoff's tragic death. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, you might have to stay tuned to the MoshCast because if you guys want to see us review that album, check it out. I'll give you my personal opinion. Honestly, what they could do as a duo, it sounds a little like Migos without Offset, but without Offset, there's really no problems. Offset can go hard on his own, and but anyway, I'm done talking about that for right now. Let's get into this album. So, this album was, of course, released all the way back in 2018,
On
along
your
with
birthday.
Quavo. Yeah, on my birthday, which was I didn't even notice till just now. Um, Quavo and Offset also released theirs in 2018 as well. So 2018 was kind of like the year of the Migos, I think you could say. Their last album, the last Culture album, wasn't really the greatest, but you know, I hope their music lives forever because Migos was a big part of my childhood. Like in high school, I always used to listen to their music every single morning on my way to school. And whenever they dropped new music, I got really excited for it. So I was really glad they got Culture 3 and before Takeoff passed away. So, like, it was just sadly unexpected. So, anyway, let's get into this. The first song is the intro to the album. It is called Martian.
Martian. All right, let's go.
Let's head to
One,
space.
2. Josh, go ahead.
All right. That was Martian, the intro to this album. Honestly, it was not really anything short. It was just like a short little verse to kind of get you hyped up to listen to this project.
See if you
If
know
you
what to
guys don't know
expect.
that tag, if you guys don't know the tag, DJ Darrell, that if you guys don't know who that guy is, DJ Darrell is a producer and he was the official DJ for Migos. Um he always did like all their beats and all their stuff like that. So yeah, DJ Darrell produced this beat for Takeoff. Um, so I honestly like the song. It was a great way to open up the album, and he just went in, very lightly, a very light verse. Nothing, too, and it also depended on the mood too of the song too. So this is kind of like a nice way to get the fans hyped up to open the album. So, AJ, what did you think?
AJ?
Yeah, man. I actually really like this.
Okay,
Good
cool.
way, a good way,
Push it.
a good way to like start off this album from Takeoff. I like when like the 3, 2, 1 part comes in like in the beginning. It makes sense because obviously his name is Takeoff, and he has a alright like so try to get the audience behind,
Yeah,
trying to get the audience behind him just because they say 3, 2, 1 whatever a rocket ship comes in, but that doesn't mean it's not
yeah,
named after Takeoff. Like it could go either way. But anyways,
yeah.
I definitely enjoyed this one. Um, Solid song so far.
Yeah. funny thing that you mentioned, like his name is Takeoff, like and how he got his name. Funny thing is how Takeoff got his stage name. It was really like interesting because Takeoff got his stage name because like how did he like people say, oh, how did he get his stage name? The funny story is Takeoff would go into the studio,
Yeah.
and whenever they would ask him, to record his verses for any of his songs or any of the songs Migos were working on, he would record all his songs in one take. So it kind of makes sense how he got his stage name. So he would always go in the studio, put his like put headphones on, go to the mic, and record all his songs in one take. So yeah, so he just took off like that. So what a better way to call yourself than Takeoff. So Jason, what'd you think of the song?
That was a pretty cool intro song to get you hyped up for what to expect for the rest of
Yeah.
this album.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, just to go over with you guys, there were a bunch of different producers for this album. DJ Darrell really didn't do all the work. Migos of course worked with a lot of different producers, and there's a lot of great hip hop producers like Murda Beats. You guys probably have heard of him on some of Migos' popular songs, Buddha Bless, Cassius J, and there's a lot of like great producers on this record. That's what I really like. It's like not just one guy doing all the work, and I like how Takeoff just got everybody close in like the business that he knows um to him. But yeah, fun fact, I mentioned this but I forgot to mention this before we got into the songs. The only single that was released from The Last Rocket was Last Memory. That was the only single released, kind of as a teaser. So, anyways, to the next song. This one was not just written by Takeoff. Um, this one was also written by Quavo as well.
Okay.
Quavo also helped Takeoff write this song. So, this is She Gon' Wink.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, that was She Gon' Wink. Honestly, that was cool. That was cool to hear Quavo on that song with Takeoff. A little family bonding. I think the thing about Quavo and Takeoff, since they were family and all that, they always bonded over music, and they always did music together. I really like that song. With the combination of both Quavo and Takeoff on that song was really good. I think the producing was really good. I really like the beat, how it kind of fitted their song a little bit, and yeah, that beat just really worked well. Jason, what'd you think?
You know what? You know what? That was pretty cool. Pretty cool song. I like the Quavo feature in there.
Yeah,
They made that pretty good.
AJ.
Yeah. I feel like I was a little bit disappointed on this one. I don't know. It's just I'm not a fan. Because I just don't like when rappers are just singing and constantly putting auto tuning on it.
Putting what?
Auto tuning. It's
Oh, oh yeah.
it
Like
happens with
I
the
get
rap.
that. A lot of people
It,
say
it,
that.
it
Yeah.
it happens a lot, but they just over fucking use it. I cannot stand
Yeah.
people
Out
who
of the
uses
three, who would
auto
use it?
tuning. It's like
Yeah.
it's no it's it it makes the person look bad. It makes the person look like
Uh,
not a good singer at all. It's just, man. I mean, it is something to do, but I would prefer like
yeah.
for them to
I
rap it
get
out
you.
instead of singing it. But
Yeah.
overall, it's a solid song, though. It's just I don't know.
Just the auto tune.
I expected more.
Yeah. I'll tell you this about like rappers with autotune. Like out of the three of them, Quavo would use the most autotune.
Yeah,
Like Takeoff would be it depends on like how you feel in a certain way, how your music is. Like auto-tune does help your music. It makes you sound a little bit better, but
But it's just like
honestly,
a little bit robotic, like you know what I mean?
yeah, you sound like a little robot, but I mean, I learned like because I tried using it myself, and like I hear myself, I'm like, I sound like a robot, but I sound pretty fucking cool. I mean, I don't sound, like I say like my music sounds like ass and shit, but I mean, hey, people can say, oh, Travis Scott uses a lot of auto tune, and people say that, but people say his music's good, but you know, Travis Scott is like the god of autotune. That's what I call him because he's like the known rapper on stage that uses a lot of autotune. And I mean,
Yeah.
I know some people say, "Oh, why you mentioning him?" I mean, hey, I'm just saying he's one of those rappers that I think uses a lot of autotune, but still makes a good amount of music. Like the majority of rappers today, some of them, it depends. I don't know what they. I'm not in the studio with them, so I don't know what they use and what they do and you know how they are and whatever. But hey, I could agree with the autotune stuff. When you use too much, you sound very robotic. Jason, why don't you go ahead?
I won already.
Oh, you want already? So y'all ready to go into the next one?
Yes.
The next song,
All right. So the next song is "None to Me."
None to Me. All right, ready to go?
Yep.
You ready? All right. So that was "None to Me."
Yeah, I figured that.
Honestly, very short. A very short track than the last two. Because the first two were like 3 minutes long, so this was something different. So it was like 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So it was more of a shorter track than the first two were. Honestly,
Yeah.
I like the production on this. Of course, this was produced by I think three different producers on this. TM88 was one of the producers on. He was known. He's better. His full name is Trackman 88, but he just goes by TM88. The other producer was Reason or it was 808 Mafia. Um, if you guys don't know 808 Mafia, they're an Atlanta record production songwriting team on the South Side because the Migos were based out of Atlanta and they're all from the Atlanta area. So it makes sense. DY was another producer on this track. So all three producers really worked well on this one track together. And Takeoff, his verses and hooks were just great. The great thing about all three of them, I mean, mainly like all three Migos is like they know how to make such a good song with their ad libs and verses and hooks. Like they could take any song and put their ad libs and verses in it. Like Takeoff came up with so many good ad libs, and so many verses and hooks that were incredible. Same with the Offset and Quavo as well. So that's like the fun way of their music. So you get cool little ad libs to make the song a little more catchy and fun. AJ, what did you think of this one?
Okay.
Go ahead, AJ.
Yep. This one's actually a little bit better. I definitely enjoyed it. A solid song.
Yeah. Jason.
A pretty cool song. That's pretty short and sweet and to the point.
Yep. Y'all ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. The next song is called "Vacation."
Vacation. All right, let's go.
That was "Vacation." Honestly, this was a totally different vibe compared to the last three songs. This one was a little harder, and Takeoff went off on this one. I mean, it was really like he just went full on game mode on this song. Like he just stepped in the booth and he just just went off in the studio like. So personally, this is one of my favorites off the album. I vibe to this a lot. Honestly, it's one of those beats that just gets you into the song really well. And of course, this was produced by Murda Beats, who, in fun fact, has produced many songs for Migos. Was really he was a he got I think he gained fame like from Migos, like really gained my attention from producing their hit Motorsport off their Culture 2 album back in 2018. Um, but yeah, Murder Beats is a Canadian record producer. He's produced so many beats for rappers like Travis Scott, Gucci Mane, Migos, Drake. Unfortunately, 6ix9ine and Nicki Minaj. Well, Nicki Minaj is great, but 6ix9ine.
Did you just
But
say 9?
but yeah, but that's who. Yeah, exactly. But he's also like produced for other rappers as well. So yeah, he's definitely one of the best. He's definitely one of my favorite hip hop producers out there. He's got some sick beats, So I personally enjoyed it. This is probably one of my favorite songs off the album. He definitely goes hard on this one. Yeah. So AJ, what'd you think of it?
Oh man, this one's a good one, and I don't like the fact you just mentioned 6ix9ine. So fuck 6ix9ine. Yep, that's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
I
I
really didn't. I really didn't mention like him on like a song, but it was more like Murder Beats producing beats for rappers. I just mentioned a list of rappers, and
but
sadly his name popped up.
nobody
Unfortunately,
fucking cares about 6ix9ine at the point.
yeah, we don't want to review garbage rap music, but let's take our minds off that.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
anyway, about to take off. This song was really good. I definitely enjoyed it. And Jason, why don't you go?
all right,
Yeah, it was pretty. It was a pretty nice song, pretty solid. I enjoyed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
all right. You guys ready to get into the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, so the next one is the single from the album. This was the one of the singles that he released before the album's release. This is Last Memory.
All right, let's. All right.
All right, so that was Last Memory. Personally, I thought the way he freestyled his mood was very chill, very he even said some real things. One of the lines one of the verses in the song was, "I pray to God to wash my sins." Takeoff. I was watching an interview before this recording earlier today with both Quavo and Takeoff. They were getting interviewed by this radio station, and both of them mentioned they both pray to God. Like they're very. I don't know if they're like very holy. Like I don't know about that, but they both pray to God, and that's like a
Do you
relatable
mean they're
thing.
religious? They're religious?
I don't think so. They're very humble. They come from a very humble family. They come from a loyal family in Atlanta. That's what they said. They come from a very loyal family, and they pray to God like that. Then another verse that I loved, how he said, this was the greatest thing I ever heard. "I go to space with the stars, might smoke a blunt with my pilot. Saturn, Moon, Earth, and Mars. Master Takeoff with the rocket." Now, how can you not go? Now, how do you not love that in the lyrics? Like that's just a perfect line, because you know one of the things that I love about Takeoff, with rappers, they're always wearing these sick jewelry pieces. And the Migos always came up with the greatest ideas for jewelry and how they looked fashion wise. And Takeoff, I'm not even kidding you, this man was a genius for a kind of chain he would wear. He got a solar system chain, like custom made. Like literally, it had all the planets. Like if you look up a picture of it, it looks insane. Like it's the most insane jewelry like out of all three I've ever seen. And Takeoff was always the man about he was always like planets and everything. I'm like, this man was always crazy. One thing I do like about Takeoff was at the end of the song he said, NASA Moon take off with the rocket. You know, that's what I mean when he records all his verses in one take. He takes off with that rocket. So I love that song so much. Jason, what'd you think?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty nice song. I definitely enjoyed the vibe into this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, AJ.
I'm gonna just say this short and sweet. I really liked it. Really nice song.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to head into track number 6?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, so the next one is I Remember.
I remember. All right, let's go.
All right, so that was I Remember. Honestly, this one was not. It was a great one. I really liked it. I I personally thought, it was a very different type of song than the last few that we listened to. Very, very different. Very more like, um, I don't know really if he was coming from um, the soft side of things. I could probably look it up on Genius right now because if you guys don't know, if you guys use Genius, Genius is a app where
Where we can find
Genius is a
song meanings and everything.
yeah,
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 we
it's like
do our
knowledge
meetings there.
about the song and exactly. So I'm gonna look up Takeoff
Shout
song
out to
and
Genius, by the way, for all the meetings that we do for these
yeah, thank you
episodes,
for
man. Like,
like
whenever
acknowledging.
whenever we out reviewing an album, like metal related and all that stuff, whenever an album has a meeting, Genius is our number one source. So thank you, Genius, for that. Shout out to
Yeah,
y'all.
I can't really find anything on Genius, but I did find something. One of the meanings when the verses were, this is well, I found one of the meanings in one of the verses when he talked about when he said was a Michael Kors now that Rolex perfect timing. So he explained in the song how he used to be broke and he's now wealthy by saying that he used to be able to afford were Michael Kors rather I can't even say the word inexpensive watches ranging from $157 to $395, and then he explained how he's now being able to afford a Rolex, which is a rich person's watch, like something that rich people could afford, which are the highest end watches you can buy in the world, with prices ranging from $5,400 all the way to $17.8 million. This is also why they're so often referred to in hip hop. Like if you listen to a hip hop song by any rapper, it could be anyway. Most rappers in this day and age all own a Rolex. It's the most common watch any rapper wears as a part of their look, and that's what he meant by when he said was a Michael Kors now that Rolex is perfect timing. So he meant that he used to be a broke person before he got, popular on the music scene and then
Yeah.
became rich, being able to afford all this expensive stuff. Like a Rolex, for example. And he I just really enjoyed the song a lot. And it was really good. I enjoyed it so much. Um AJ.
Um, this one I definitely enjoyed it, and then Uh, I know that Takeoff kept saying, I remember," like as the chorus. It gets annoying, but it makes it work. It works
Yeah.
because obviously the song is based on what you remember in life or anything in general. Um, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed this one. And you know what's pissing me off right now? Because I can't get this fucking hair to straighten me out. Like, look at this shit. Like, like perm. Stupid. Anyways, moving on from that. But overall, the song was really nice. Good song.
Um Jason.
All right, the song was a pretty calming song. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so guys, ready in for track number 7. We're halfway there. So
Already, damn. All right.
yeah, next one is called "Lead the Wave."
Lead the wave. All right, let's go.
All right, so that was "Lead the Wave." Honestly, I really like the way I really like the way Takeoff was spitting verses in this song. Like left to right was fire, everything fired. Like so, there are two meanings I found that Genius somehow found one because Genius only highlights certain things on the website that um like a meaning. So if you heard in the song where he says, "I'm from the North, smoke so much cookie in LA, feel like I got traded." So what he meant by saying that was cookie refers to marijuana. It's like a slang term for marijuana, which is illegal in his hometown of Atlanta. And what he meant by the North is Atlanta. They're from the South Side. So, um, and then it says, in order to get this, Takeoff smokes marijuana in a city called in LA because it's legal in LA but illegal in Atlanta. I don't know about now, but I I don't know because I don't live in Atlanta, so I can't really tell. So, and then Genius, what I felt like, put up a map of where it's marijuana is legal, and and it said since he spends a lot of time smoking so much cookie in L.A., he feels like he's now belongs no longer to Atlanta, and he rather to LA. He likens the process he underwent to how athletes are traded from one team to another. So I like how he kind of combined that, like, because when you're an athlete and you say, "Oh, you're going to this team in another state, you're going to be playing here now. You're not playing for us anymore." So he kind of felt like in a way where I have to go to LA to get marijuana, and I cannot smoke it in my own town where I was born. So that's what he meant by that line. Also, I found another line that was highlighted. Um, so when Takeoff said no, take hey, we did the race. Takeoff referenced a incarcerated rapper Take who went viral by recording his music video for the race while attempting to flee the state wanted by the state police. The race is a big hit by TK. I don't know where her TK is now, but I think he's doing some other stuff. I really don't know. Maybe some rappers, you never really hear of them if they're like one hit wonders. But I really don't know about much about the guy. So, um, but yeah, honestly, I enjoyed the song. I really did. AJ.
This one. I just want to make sure we're doing. All right, we're good. All right, this song was really good. I definitely enjoyed it. Solid song. Yeah. Jason, go right ahead.
A pretty
Jason.
solid song. It has a nice vibe to it. Pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So the next song is Casper.
Casper. All right, let's go. All right,
All
Casper.
right. All right, so this was Casper. Personally, I this reminded me of a freestyle. He just went all off on this song. Like when I mean by all off, I mean he just went straight fire on this whole track. Like so, there were a lot of meanings on like some of the things that were said in the song. Like I know some of you are like confused, like what in the hell is he saying and shit. So, what he meant was I'm a ghost ride the wraith. Ride. I'm a ghost ride like I'm from the Bay. So a wraith basically is a model of the car known as the Rolls Royce. It's the 2018 version of the car worth over $300,000. Wraith is originally a Scottish word that means ghost or phantom. To ghost ride refers to the driver exiting the vehicle while it's in motion and dancing next to it. The practice originated in Oakland, California, a major city in the Bay Area. Ghost riding is typically done in cars that are of lesser value. For Takeoff to do it in a luxury vehicle shows that he isn't concerned with the possibility of crashing the car due to the ability to easily fix it or replace it. So it's kind of like someone dancing. Well, and references to ghost riding can be found in a lot of different music. So you guys would probably can. So when he meant by saying, "Oh, better off doing what Simon say," a great line. And of course, we all know what Simon Says is. It's obviously a game that we all played when we were little kids.
Yeah.
Oh, what game?
When he meant by the line better off doing what Simon said, Simon say,
Oh yeah.
it
Oh, that
it was
game.
the genius annotation was Simon said it was about Simon Says, a game that we all played when we were kids.
Yeah.
What he meant by my grandmama gone but can't be replaced. She paved the way. So basically what he said was Takeoff is saying he wouldn't have become the man he is today if it wasn't for his grandmother. So he was basically saying he was saying how if he wasn't who he was today without his grandmother. Quavo and Takeoff used to live together when they were younger. He also mentioned her name on Migos' song "Out Your Way." According to them, she had a decisive influence in their lives. So if it wasn't for his grandmother, Takeoff wouldn't have been the man he was. Um, and then when he meant by thought you would have seen Casper. So of course you know who Casper is. Casper is the friendly ghost, and I think AJ's frozen.
No,
Oh
I'm
no.
here.
No.
Oh.
I'm here.
So Casper, of course, is the friendly ghost that we all know and love. Okay, now you're fine. So also what he meant by also I think this is verse. Oh, this is just the verse one towards the chorus. So then in verse 2, what he meant by was fuck 12. If you don't know what that means, fuck 12 was a thing that people were saying in the Atlanta and Oakland area, while it means fast on feet means you're sprinting away from the cops, trying to run from them. So it's kind of describing like, you're robbing a bank and you're running from the cops, you're trying to get away and stuff like that. So there's a lot of meanings in a lot of these verses. Another one that when he was talking about the stars on top of the Rolls Royce. Fun fact: Rolls Royces have a stars on top of the car, on like the top of the hood. So when you get in the car and you look up, um, there's stars on top. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Um, what he meant by was no flash, but the ice is on fleek. The term on fleek means it has to be stylish and fashionable. So when your ice is on fleek, you are stylish and fashionable. Pulling up, and then when he meant by white wraith with the red and black seats, pulling up like a falcon with me. So if you guys don't know, Migos and Takeoff are from Atlanta. They're from the Atlanta area, and of course they root for the Atlanta sports team. So this was a shout out to none other than the NFL football team, the Atlanta Falcons, because their colors are red and black. Of their uniforms. So they shouted out the Atlanta Hawks and stuff like that. So and then another one is got gas but the tank on E. When he meant by the word E, it means the tank is empty. So when you're driving and you say, "Oh, my gas is E," he meant by, oh, my gas is empty. And I think that is about it for the meanings in some of the songs. Because, oh, what I meant by the stars was if you Google a picture of the Rolls Royce Wraith, and if you look up at like the top of the roof inside the car, there's stars on top of like inside the car. So when you look up, it looks really like cool. So it's really a luxury car. But anyways, I'm gonna take my thoughts on the song. I really liked it. I liked the way he went off on this one. And what I mean by went off is the way he spit out all this stuff. And this is probably one of my other favorites off the album. Let's go with Jason.
Yeah, this is definitely a good vibes song, and it's definitely enjoyable.
Yeah. AJ.
This one I definitely enjoyed as well. Actually, it's a good song. I definitely enjoyed it.
All right, you guys ready for the next one?
Yes, please.
All right, so the next one is called Insomnia. So before we head into the song, I want to explain what the song's about.
Well, do that after the song.
I'll do it before, so because it
So it
actually
can be done over
explains.
with.
Yeah. So on Insomnia, he rapped about his drug use, sexual prowess, his wealth, specifically the private jets he takes. The term insomnia, if you guys know what it means, it's the most simply defined term. It means the inability to sleep. So when you're insomnia, you're barely sleeping. It's like say if you're like a rock artist or a rapper or anybody in music, and you're constantly on the road or taking a private jet everywhere you go, and you're basically up all day. You're not getting any rest. You're basically out everywhere, not like you're not even sleeping. So he's basically up almost all the time, traveling around the world. And the song was produced by Buddha Bless, who uses the same instrumental as Juicy J and Travis Scott's song Neighbor, which was released back in 2018 as well. So, anyways, you guys ready to get into it?
Let's
Yeah,
go. Insomnia.
good.
Right. So that was Insomnia. Definitely. Probably another one of my favorites. I vibe out to that song a lot. I mean,
They had
it's
a pretty
probably one
good
of
vibe, definitely.
yeah. So there were there's some meanings in this song that Genius described. So when he meant by the words "money been tall as Yao," so when Takeoff stacks his money, um, the pile is as tall as Yao Ming. So if you don't know who Yao Ming is a former NBA player for the Houston Rockets, and he was an 8-time All-Star. Yao Ming was a player who was very, very tall. I think he was probably the tallest NBA player I ever seen. He was 7'6", and he was like if you look at a picture of him, like you would be like, how is this guy 7'6"? Like that's just unreal. And
Yeah,
of course, rappers they make a big wealthy paycheck, so obviously, um, they stack their cash. So cool reference. I kind of like that because Yao Ming being 7'6". Um, Also when he meant by 4 because I love the taste. He refers to 4 ounces of codeine cough syrup. A lot of rappers drink that. I don't know why, but that's what he meant by that and stuff like that. Don't do that. It's bad, bad stuff. But
Not
yeah,
good.
not good. Yeah,
no, it's
But hey,
not.
we all
Or
make
not.
mistakes. But as long as you're fine with it, you know. But and then also there's a lot of other great freestyle verses in there. But honestly, it's probably one of my other favorites. So AJ, what do you think?
Honestly, this song's really nice. Definitely another solid song. Not my favorite though, but it's alright. Solid.
Yeah, this was definitely a solid song. I definitely enjoyed the vibe in this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys ready into the next one?
Yes.
All right. So the next song on the album is, I can load it up here. What is it?
Infatuation.
Yeah, invitation.
All right,
And
let's
the
go.
meaning
Oh,
and what this song is about is, let's see if I can load it up here on Genius, because Genius is the go-to source, and my phone is fucking being ridiculous, so I will mention it after. Let's get into the song first. All right, so that was Infutation. This was a different type of song. It was more of an R&B song, away from the rap stuff. This is what I liked about it. I liked how he kind of changed it up for this one song. As I was having some difficulties earlier getting what the song was about, this was a different type of song that Takeoff made. It was basically about, this was an R&B, like 1980s 90s feel. So it's basically an R&B song with a 1980s 90s feel to it, and it was about him admiring a crush he had from grade school in a distance. It was about a crush from a distance in grade school that he had. So, um, more away from the rap stuff. I mean, I kind of liked it. It was kind of a nice, touch, something different to put on the, the cherry of the ice cream. But I really liked it. It was something very different. I didn't expect it, off that album after listening to it. But yeah, AJ.
you're muted, AJ.
All right. I definitely enjoyed it. Good song.
Jason.
All right, yeah, it definitely has a good vibe to it. I definitely enjoyed it. An awesome song.
Yes, we are 2 songs away. Um, we are. Well, the next one is the one before the outro. So the next one is called Soul Plane. There's no really there's no meaning to what this is about. Genius didn't really have a meaning for Soul Plane, but yeah, let's dive into this.
Let's go.
That was Soul Plane. Honestly, it was a very chill beat. I honestly like the lyrics put into this. Um, I really liked how I really like all the producing on all these songs were great. Um, AJ, thoughts?
Um, I really like the song and the song. Jason, go right ahead.
All right, yeah, it's a pretty chill song. I definitely
I'm
enjoyed the
allowing
vibe to
AJ
this.
to be my co-host.
Huh?
Yeah, then
You
AJ is getting ready to sleep.
Yeah,
you look.
I'm trying my best to get my eyes open as I can.
We got one more song, AJ.
Yeah,
We're
I
on the
can do
last
it.
song, AJ.
I can do this.
Yes. But go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I mean that's all I said. It's definitely a chill song, pretty good.
Yeah. I personally. All right. So you guys ready for the last and
We're on the
final song?
last one.
I really wouldn't say it's a song. It's more like the outro to the album. But maybe it has like a verse, like a hook or a verse on it. But
All right.
guys, before the end of the episode, I'm gonna go through the first few songs that we didn't get the meaning to, so you guys kind of so we don't kind of leave them out. But yeah, the last and final track on this album is the outro, and it's called Bruce Wayne. I
Bruce
don't know
Wayne. All right, let's go. it.
All right, so that was the outro, Bruce Wayne by Takeoff, the final song off the last rocket. Honestly, there were some meanings in the outro, so let's go through them as well before we do our outros and our ratings and will we come back to this artist and stuff like that. We're gonna go through the first few songs that we did not go over and the meanings behind each song. I'll probably repeat the ones that I said earlier. Don't mind me, but fuck it. So when he meant from this line when he meant order up 100 ice trays for the gang, what he meant was it was a reference to the hook of the song Ice Tray by Quavo and Lil Yachty from their label's project Quality Control, Control the Streets Volume 1. So that album was basically a bunch of quality controls, artists like signed to the label, and they all did an album with everyone signed to the label. Another one was before the Bad and Bougie been on Flame. They say they love those songs. They don't know the group name. So basically what he's trying to say is here, Bad and Bougie was the Migos song that really got them, noticed. I wouldn't say noticed like as a mainstream group. This was one of their top songs that skyrocketed. Everyone was vibing to it back in 2017. So Takeoff was in an interview. Takeoff was asked about his lack of involvement in the song, and his response led to the emergence of a viral sensation. Even though he wasn't in it, he still contributed to that, song. Another one was in the second verse. He's like, "I ball James Worthy." So if you guys don't know what he's meaning by, a lot of rappers are fans of basketball, and Takeoff referenced a basketball player named James Worthy who played in the NBA from 1982 to 1983, season up till 1983-1994 season with the Lakers. Worthy was one of the cornerstones of the Showtime Lakers, and stuff like that. Takeoff is balling, as in stunning off the court like Worthy balled on the NBA. And fun fact, his last name, Takeoff's real last name, is also Ball. So his that's his real last name. So another meaning was the outro, where that speech. If you guys didn't hear that person talking in the background, so Takeoff concludes his first solo album with a sample from Felix Baumgartner's record-breaking Space Jump. Baumgartner was the first to break the sound barrier in a freefall jump. So this guy Felix Baumgartner was a daredevil, and he jumped. Daredevils do crazy types of shit. They do crazy stunts and all. So that whole speech was from that actual guy. So he just sampled it into the
that's not the one I want tomorrow.
And yes, there was a Batman reference in the song.
Nice.
So now before we head into the outros and our ratings and when we come back to the artist or not, I'm gonna go over the songs that we missed by the meanings of each, of what they mean and what he pretty much meant and what the songs are about. So
I think you got everything, Josh. I think you got.
I missed a couple. I missed like the first few. I started doing it, I think, at I Remember. So I'm gonna go from the first five. So I'm not gonna go into like I'm not gonna go into the lyrics because that's gonna take up a little too much and stuff like that. And of course, Genius will be there to help you out in case that. So Martian was basically the intro. I'm gonna look if there's a meaning to that. My phone's taking forever to load. I don't get why, but whatever.
It is what it is.
All right, never mind. I'll You guys, if you want to check out the meanings, they're on Genius. My phone's just being, a little insane. So, anyway, first we're gonna say our ratings when we come back to the artists and then outros. So I'm gonna go first. Out of the three Migos solo albums, I really like them all. Ranking them from first, second, and third, I will rank Offset number one, Takeoff two, and Quavo three. But after listening, after listening to this record, I think the Takeoff album is gonna mean a lot more now since of everything that happened since the beginning of the month. And this was his debut album. For those of you that don't know, this was his debut studio album. So, I'm probably gonna give this the number one spot, probably of all time, out of the three albums that all three of them have released as singles artists. I'm gonna give Takeoff the number one spot. And I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. Um, you know, I really liked everything about it. I didn't, not disagree with one song. I really liked them all. So there's nothing really bad to say. Um, AJ, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. My thoughts on the last song was really good. And a good way to end off the album. My rating is a solid 9 out of 10. And if I had to rank all three, um, I would say Offset, Takeoff, and Quavo.
Oh, you would rank them like Takeoff, Offset, Quavo, same like Takeoff one, like as the album. Okay, I like that. Jason, what'd you think of the album? What would you give it?
So for the last song, I definitely enjoyed it. It's a pretty good vibe to it, and yeah, I'll give this a 10 out of 10. It's a pretty cool album.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna do the will you come back to this artist? Thumbs up meaning yes, thumbs in the middle maybe, thumbs down is a no. So three, two, one. I always will come back to this. All right, so it's a yes. So anyway, I'm gonna say this once and for all, man. With everything that has happened since the beginning of the month, the amount of love from the hip hop community, the amount of love that artists have shown, as this being a senseless murder of basically anything, you know. Our thoughts and prayers are with Takeoff's family, Quavo, of course, his entire, friends, family, and of course the record label Quality Control. Our condolences go out to your fallen brother. He was definitely one of those true humble people. I remember actually watching this earlier before they were recording today. Um, I remember just watching a video on with James Corden talking about Takeoff's passing, and James Corden was just describing how much of a good person Takeoff really was, and how much like there was Migos were on the Late Late Show in 2018, and they did carpool karaoke with James Corden, and I have to tell you, it was probably one of the best episodes. I'll throw a link down below in the description of the video if you want to check it out for yourselves. It's probably one of the funniest, most the most greatest episodes of carpool karaoke. If you guys are into that kind of series, um, literally James Corden always mentioned the story where I think it was the day of that um episode where they were doing the carpool karaoke thing, and they went to the really expensive store to get James Corden some drip. I just remember James Corden saying Takeoff would always used to call him Big Drip, and you know James Corden was just saying how much of a kind, humble, very nice guy. Takeoff was out of the Migos. All three of them, of course, were very nice people and stuff like that. But mainly Takeoff was the one that you really didn't hear much about him. He was very low key, meaning very private. You didn't really hear a lot about him in the news, really. And he was pretty much a very underrated rapper out of the three. And I personally, I'm gonna miss him. And I did hear that he is releasing a posthumous record. So I'm kind of hoping, like another studio project, but it's gonna be, with the help of, people producing it for him now that he's, no longer with us. So anyway, it's time to get into outros. I will start off first. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the MoshCast. As we reviewed The Last Rocket by Takeoff, as a tribute episode as of his recent passing. I wanted to do this album because it would be a nice way to honor him and honor his memory and honor his music and legacy. So Takeoff, rest in peace. Thank you for your music, your spirit, and all the good things about you. So your music lives forever, your career lives forever. If you guys want us to review his other albums or anything other thing related to him, let us know down below or on our social medias. You guys can follow us all on our social medias down below in the description. Everything will be there for you. Stay tuned for all the newest episodes for the other podcasts, Cinematic Analysis, Crash and Burn, as well as this podcast as well. If you guys want us to do any more rap stuff alongside from the metal and rock genre, let us know. We'll be loving to take requests. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the MoshCast, where we reviewed The Last Rocket by Takeoff. We hope you all enjoyed. Next episode, we're going to be finally reviewing another Silverstein album. The Silverstein album is When Broken is Easily Fixed by Silverstein.
All right.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you then.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Loudest Podcast of all fucking music, the Mosh fucking cast, where we did The Last Rocket by Takeoff. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And yeah, go follow our TikTok page at Crash_Mosh_Analysis. Go subscribe to all three channels on YouTube. Go follow all three podcasts on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and whatever. And thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Rock on, motherfuckers.
MoshCast!